Hi everyone, it's Tuesday 25th of June and weekly preview, and it's the big one as far as the British athletes are concerned. We've got the British Championships Olympic trials at Sports City Manchester. Although the weather at the moment is lovely in the mid-20s today, I think it's going to be a bit cooler at the weekend, although forecast doesn't show load of rain or wind at Manchester, so I'm hoping it's good conditions and we get some good performances. But I'm going to run through and fully focus on these Olympic trials. It's not quite as cutthroat as the American system, where it's first three with the qualifying time are selected, and we saw last night Athing Mu, one of the favourites for the women's 800 metres, get tripped, fall, and it looks like not going to the Olympics now, which is a real shame, because what was one of the highlight events of the athletics programme, with Mu, Mora, Hodgkinson and others likely to be involved. So yeah, different system in the UK. You can get on the British Athletics website, go to UK Athletics and Performance, and you can see the selection policy. But basically, something like this. First of all, you've got to achieve the Olympic qualifying standard. There are a few little caveats in that, including the 3,000 metre steeplechase, which has a UK standard of 8:18:50 rather than the world standard 8:15 dead. That's caveat, same as the 10,000, although the 10,000 has already been held, not in these trials. The top two with the qualifying time will be automatically selected. Outside of that, you're not guaranteed selection, except if you're a world medalist, you could get automatic selection, providing you've got the qualifying time and you've got current fitness, etc. That affects the likes of Josh Kerr, Ben Patterson, Keely Hodgkinson and others outside of the distance races. Then you go to anyone with the qualifying time can be considered. Form, rankings, world rankings, etc. be taken into consideration. I think the rankings are updated maybe on a midweek on the Road to Paris website. So just click in Google Road to Paris and you can see where everybody is on the ranking list, and you can do it by country, so you can see all the Brits involved. So that's roughly what the selection policies means. And let's have a look at the events. So we'll go with the shortest distance, or the distance races first, the 800 metres. And although I'm mentioning it first, I think the men's 800 is one of the most intriguing events of the championships. There's 39 entries, so presumably 4 or 5 heats, and if only 8 are making the final, that means only the winner automatically goes through, unless a few drop out. But even then, you're going to get down to 4 heats, and I've seen this before. As I say, hopefully not too windy, because that really affects the tactics and the times, etc. So if you've got fastest losers involved, which I think there's going to have to be, is the only way. Well, actually, you could have 4 heats and the first 2 go through, so maybe they'll do that. But with that, the seeding is going to have to be spot on. I mean, 146.5 is ranked about 18th, and I think about 16 of those guys are accepted into the championships at 800 metres. So there's going to be some real disappointed people who don't even make the final. If you look at those that have got the Olympic qualifying time, which is 144.70, you've got the likes of Max Bergin, who hasn't even raced this year yet, Dan Rowden, Ben Patterson, who I've mentioned already, who got a bronze at the World Championships last year, Elliot Giles, who's also entered in the 1500 metres, so presumably not made his mind up totally yet which one he's going to go for. and we don't know what sort of form Max Bergin's in. You know, if anyone who's followed Max Bergin over the years, he's a front runner. He will blast it, and if you're in his heat, you're going to get leg to a fast time, presumably. As far as this actual trial is concerned, the fact that Josh Kerr is running the 800 also throws the cat amongst the pigeons. So, if Kerr's in the first two, that means there's only one automatic place. Ben Patterson, however he performs, presumably as a world championship medalist, has already got automatic selection to some degree. Yeah, I really don't know. I might go something like Kerr, Patterson, Giles and Sharman Newell, perhaps. Because Sharman Newell ran low 145s at the weekend. He's on the up. He's been doing it in this country at British Miners Club meetings. I feel a 145 low there is worth significantly quicker on the continent, in perfect conditions, etc., in a good race. So yeah, there's so many in with a shout here. It'll be so interesting, because form has been up and down amongst a few of them as well. So yeah, 39 entries currently accepted, confirmed, so we shall see. Not dissimilar on the women's side. Keely Hodgkinson's doing the 400 metres. She's got an automatic place in the team, so that leaves, the first two will go presumably, and you've got the likes of Gemma Reekie, Phoebe Gill, Erin Wallace, Alex Bell and Izzy Boffey, all with 159.30 or better qualifying times. There is a little bit of a caveat here, because Phoebe Gill's only 17. If you look at the selection policy, it says 16 and 17-year-olds have to have sort of international experience and the exceptional circumstances. I'd say having run 157 and being one of the fastest in the world, even though you're 17, is exceptional. I've got a feeling Phoebe Gill could win this from Gemma Reekie and Erin Wallace. That's my prediction. Going to the men's 1500, as I say, Elliot Giles is entered for both. The Olympic qualifying time of 3:33.50 has been achieved by Neil Gourley, Elliot Giles, George Mills, Jake Whiteman, Adam Fogg. There's 44 entries, so I'm presuming 3 or 4 heats in this. George Mills is another who's been entered for 2 events, 1500 and the 5000. The 1500 heats are on the Saturday. 5000 final comes on before the 1500 metre final on Sunday. I don't think it's possible to double, so George Mills is going to have to make a decision. Whether there's been a deal behind the scenes of some sort where European silver medalists likely to get a pick in the 5,000 metres team already and might want to double with the 1500, who knows. So George also ran a 146.1 800 metre PB in Austria last weekend in Vienna, which was an on-sponsored event, which he's an on-athlete, so maybe he just picked he was asked to run and that's what he chose to do. Or it could be that he was tuning up for a crack at the 1500 by doing the 8 the week before. I don't know why I've put this. I could be completely wrong. I might even not do the events. I've got Whiteman, Giles and Gourley as the top 3. I do hope one way or another Elliot Giles can make the team. He deserves it. His YouTube channel I've really enjoyed. Known Elliot for a while. Very approachable guy. As is Jake Whiteman and Neil Gourley and others. So really like to see it. Anyone get there, but Elliot's been telling his story the last few months. Very interesting on YouTube, the ups and downs, quite inspirational stuff. Let's have a look at the women's 1500. The Olympic qualifying time 4:02.50. Likes of Laura Muir, Katie Snowden, Melissa Courtney Bryant, Georgia Bell, Revie Walcott Nolan all got the qualifying time. 47 entries, a lot confirmed. We're not going to see what we've seen in the past. Laura Muir leaving it late to decide whether she's going to do the 8 and 15. She's only entered in the 15. We're not going to see rip into the race at some stage, leaving the rest of the field for dust, because I think she's got to show a little bit more respect to her other competitors who are pretty good in their own right. The one who seems to be really on top form but still progressing is Georgia Bell. Revie Walcott Nolan's run PBs recently. Not sure she's got quite what it will take to beat Georgia Bell and Laura Muir. Katie Snowden's form's been a little bit up and down. Melissa Courtney Bryant perhaps hasn't hit the heights yet, so I'm going to go, I can't bet against Laura Muir, but Laura Muir, Georgia Bell, Katie Snowden in that one. Men's 5,000, 21 confirmed entries as of now. It's 13:05, quite a well-known qualifying standard for the 5,000. We've got Sam Atkin, George Mills, Paddy Diva and Jack Rowe have all run that. I don't think anyone's going to run 13:05 on a Sunday afternoon at Manchester to be added to that list. So you're looking at those four. As I say, George Mills has entered the 1500. He'd be doing everybody else a favour by doing the 1500, meaning the top two would be guaranteed, providing they've got a qualifying time to go to the Olympics. Sam Atkin has had a patchy record, to say the least, at British Championships and major championships. So don't know what to expect from him. George Mills, if he does it, I think would be the favourite. Paddy Diva has been in really good form this year. Ran a really fast 10,000 metres, although outside the world qualifying standard. He's got a chance of getting the selection of the 10,000 based on the UK standards and rankings. I'm going to go with Mills, Diva and James West coming into the picture. James is the defending champion. He's run 13:09 recently as well. Depends what sort of race it is. Likes of Will Barnicoat's in there. Could very much think, what's the point in just running a slow time and jogging around and having a sprint on the last lap? Let's make it a decent pace. I think probably the likes of Jack Rowe's got to pick it up at some stage. Even Paddy Diva, maybe not leave it to the last lap if he wants to get into the top two. So there you go, another intriguing race. Women's 5,000, 14:52 is the Olympic qualifying time. Only Megan Keith and Jess Judd have got that, and they're not entered because Megan Keith going for the 10,000 metres, where she won the British trial for that and got the qualifying time. Jess Judd's had issues recently, been struggling at the end of races and blacking out a little bit, and so not quite sure where she is, but I wish her all the best. Great fan of Jess's over the years. 23 entries confirmed. I think maybe, coming into form is Izzy Fry, but I think maybe Hannah Nuttall might win this from Izzy Fry and Alex Millard, who's just run a 1500 metre PB of 4:05, so in good nick as well. Difficult one to predict this. Depends again on the tactics. Anyone brave enough to hit the pace reasonably early will sort it out a little bit more to form. If it goes late, likes of Alex Millard will have a good chance of winning on a finish. So that's that. And then we've got the two steeplechases. I mentioned the women's steeplechase, that seems cut and dry. There's only two with the 9:23 Olympic qualifying time, Amy Pratt and Lizzie Bird, and Amy Pratt's not racing, so I'm only going to predict the winner of this. Lizzie Bird seems straightforward, probably the most straightforward of the eight events that I'm reviewing here. And she's been in good form recently and seems to be getting better as the season goes on, so I think that would be straightforward. The men's race, the Olympic qualifying time is 8:15. British athletics have set 8:18.5. Nobody's got that. Zach Seddon is ranked 36th as things stand in the world, and 36 go to the Olympics. You can expect one or two maybe injured or won't go. But this is going to be a cracking race. There's 4 very closely matched athletes at least in this, with Phil Norman in a PB of 8:19 just last week, with Mark Pierce and Zach Seddon and Will Battisall all in close proximity. I'm going to go Norman, Pierce and Seddon. What are they going to do? They can at least try and run 8:18. They got to, I think. If they want to go to the Olympics, I think they're going to have to run. Somebody's going to have to run quick. Who's brave enough there? We shall see. But some great races ahead for the weekend. 13 in that one, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Hope to see some of you there.